Okay, awesome. So I believe we can start. We are about 10 people on call. Believe the rest will join us as we proceed. So today will actually be our last learning session per se. The session next week, you guys are just going to showcase some of the projects you're going to be doing from Believe today till next week. But yeah, essentially today we are going to be going through the agile methodology just to sum up what we've been learning for the past, I believe, 7 weeks. So yeah, without much ado, I believe I can just start. Today we are going to be having a slight icebreaker before we proceed. So for the icebreaker question, I'd like you guys to just tell us how probably you've spent your last 1 week since we last met, and also tell us one thing that you've probably done between that specific time period that you would like to recommend to your fellow peers or also to me. So just tell us probably how you're doing, and also one thing that you've done since last week on Tuesday till today that you would like to probably recommend to the rest of the team members to probably just see or see if they can do that. So I can start with any volunteer. I believe I don't want to choose on anybody, so anybody can volunteer, then we start. But for the sake of order, maybe I'll select then I'll select the first person, then we can proceed. So we can have Usan. Usan, hi Usan. Maybe go first, then select the person to go after you.
Hi, teacher. Hi, guys. If I want to speak about my weekend, it's such as lovely weekends because I finished my course at officer, legal tradition Europeans successfully. I'm very happy for that. And beside that, I accept a program, unitary program, and I'm have to be started. It is kind of you said great. And beside that, I'm learning here. I think a lot of things that help me to improve myself. One thing I can suggestion for girls and boys here to continue their education, never give up. There's always hope, and you can develop yourself when you have a goal and you have a dream to achievement. No matter how much circumstances are tough, there is a situation. We have a technology. The technology, the way you can promote yourself, whatever. I know some person told you it's a darkness now. We don't have hope. What should we do? The only person can help you is only you. Your friend, you, the person who's know how much you have ability, and that's all. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So thank you for that, Usan. You've provided some really encouraging words. So thank you for that. I hope people have noted that down. So I'll select the next person. We can have Madina go next. Okay, probably Madina, if you're not in a position to speak, maybe just provide your answer on the chat. So we can have Saliha.
Sir, can you please repeat your question again?
Okay, the question was probably you're supposed to just tell us how you're doing and also one thing that you've done since we last met till today that you can recommend probably for your peers to go and try it out.
Okay, about noticed that what I'm doing during these days. So actually, I'm also busy with my online and classes that I have to study for that, for learning language and also for learning some special skills. And also nowadays I just try to work as a teacher in some organizations to just improve my experience and knowledge for making better communication with other people as well. So yeah, that's just kind of things that I want to do in these days. And also something that I want to recommend for others, as Usnadon said, that yeah, nowadays there's like tough situation. Most of people say that just like this, but we can connect with other people with technology, and online platform is just the only way we can education, and that's the only way. So there is no matter what's kind of condition or other things or other people what they say toward you. We can learn any kind of language that we want, or any kind of skill that we love to study about that. It's all right, and we can. There is lots of opportunity that we can study those subjects and also those skills and improve our own knowledge about those skills. And yeah, that's all. Our opportunity is provided in the online platform, and we can do our best to just study for that. And yeah, for never giving up, it's like good things that we have to encourage ourselves for that.
Okay, awesome. So thank you for that also, Sally. I think we should actually just provide some claps for you. I'm really amazed by how you guys are really invested in learning new skills and just trying to know the emerging technologies that are coming up. So that is really, really encouraging from your side. So yeah, I love the perception and the direction we're heading to as a group. So we can have two last people. So we can have Colsom go next. Then after Colsom, we'll have Ataya, Mastula Ataya. I hope I've pronounced your name right, but you will tell me if I've done so. So you can start with the Colsom, then you.
Okay, اسمة الله طيب.
Okay, thank you. Kindly proceed since you're already talking. Tell us probably answer that question.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for your good introduction to the project management discourse that helped me more. That I have still three projects that I am working on this, and this course will help me very well. And I have done with three projects in these 2 months, and I want to say one thing, that no one can stop you in your education, in your careers, in your career paths, and just stay with your own goals and go with your own goals and don't stop and never give up. Just I will share this. And when you want to choose your career, just be confident and don't shy that anyone says something for you. That I want to say that there is no any forbidden things that you should that your career should be stopped. Just thank you also, and this course helped me more.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Same gesture, you're also emphasizing on learning new skills, and you've also told us that nobody can limit your education. It's only you yourself that can limit yourself. So yeah, thank you for that also. So we'll have the last person, Colsom Rasoli. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, teacher, for your good presentation and good totally good method you use for teaching to us, especially in this situation in Afghanistan. Most people can't continue their education in university and something like that, especially girls and women. Me and other classmates use this class so much and help us to improve our skills and career in the project management. It was very useful for me. Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. So thank you for that also, Ransoli. So yeah, I'm really encouraged by you guys. I actually came to this call expecting that I'll be the one sharing I'll be the one sharing the most of the knowledge, but I've learned a lot from the few people who have spoken. So I expect that probably we shall interact more. I shall get to know you guys also more and get to know what you want to probably focus on in future and what you want to major on as your skills path. So for that, you can also just reach out to me via LinkedIn. You can follow me via LinkedIn. I saw most of you actually did follow me, so we are in touch with a couple of you guys. So ensure you just reach out. Then I will provide guidance where I'm able to do, and also in other places I can also recommend you to maybe paths that can also help you get certain jobs and things of the sort. So yeah, I've also heard that someone is working on 2 projects. Yeah, kindly reach out to me via LinkedIn. Feel free to just ask questions regarding the specific projects. I'll be glad enough to also provide some knowledge that I have to probably just assist you in tackling those specific projects. So for me, yeah, I'm also working on certain projects. I'm really encouraged from what you guys have stated, from what you guys have mentioned. I understand the situation probably in Afghanistan doesn't favor probably a good environment for education, but I'm really motivated how you guys are very passionate about learning new skills and also just trying to acquire new skills. So yeah, that said, we are just going to proceed. Our meeting expectations as usual, ask questions in the chat box, mute yourself when you're not speaking, have your video on if you're in a position to when you're speaking. Then be present, be critical, be curious, and always ask questions. So we've already had our icebreaker. So that was the first bit of the session. We've had our icebreaker. We are going to skip this slide for now. Then we're now going to be going through the lesson objectives of the day. So today we've tackled most of or a bigger chunk of our project management course outline or course schedule per se. So what is left is just to highlight on what Agile methodology is. We shall also be going through the 4 values of the Agile Manifesto and the 12 Agile principles that we have. We're also going to be looking at the benefits of the Agile methodology and why probably not to choose Agile or when to choose Agile per se. I remember in the first session, this question came up from one of you guys. There is someone who asked me probably what are the instances whereby we are not supposed to use Agile methodology. So that is also going to be covered in today's session. So if you're very keen, you'll notice that we are winding up our program per se. So yeah, so this is going to be the major focus of the day. And if there are no probably questions, I hope that you guys will just allow me to go right into it and start so that we can start having a look at it. So Agile methodology, essentially, I don't know what you guys understand by the term Agile, but Agile refers to the ability to move quickly and easily. So if you probably Google the term Agile or refer to your dictionary somewhere, you're supposed to get that Agile basically means or refers to the ability to just move quickly and easily. So that is why we have the term Agile. You'll notice here in Kenya, we have a company actually called Agile. So Agile normally, the company called Agile normally just provides solutions to businesses. So their motto is actually just achieving or delivering business solutions in a fast and quick way. So their main core goal is just to deliver easy softwares that probably people in the tech world can use, but in a more quick and advanced way per se. So Agile is a project management approach developed by a more flexible and efficient way to get products to the market. So essentially, the project management approach focuses on flexibility and efficiency. When we talk about efficiency, we are now referring to how quick, how easy is it? Is it efficient enough? So it is flexible and an efficient way to get products to the market. So the word Agile, as we've said, it refers to the ability to move quickly and easily. So therefore, the Agile approach enables project teams to adapt faster and easily compared to other project methodologies. So remember, we have more or other different methodologies, but today we are essentially focusing on Agile. Okay. So allow me to proceed to the next slide. So there was a certain thing, I believe this was formed during the upcoming of the methodology Agile. So we had the Agile Manifesto, and it had 4 core values and 12 principles. So these 4 values and this specific 4 values and the 12 principles, they are supposed to actually provide a blueprint on how the agile methodology should look like per se. So they describe the process and priorities of an agile team. So here is whereby the priorities, the processes, have the policies that have been stated. So by having this manifesto, this means that agile is somehow rigid, and there is a certain path that you need to follow to achieve the agile methodology. So we are going to be looking at these specific 4 values and the 12 principles, so that you can just try to understand what they entail. So I don't know if there is a question. Safdari, first, I hope you're doing well and safe and enjoying your time. I'm also glad to join your class and learn some new things like management, project management, and the usage of it. And lastly, I want to be thankful on your side for the good teaching and presenting. Okay, awesome. Thank you for that, Safdari. So that is actually really encouraging. So yeah, thank you for the major shout out. So now we are going to just look at the four core values that were provided in the manifesto, and that should be adhered to according to the manifesto. So the 4 values actually include individuals and interactions over processes and tools. So here, basically, for this specific value, it basically emphasizes the interactions between specific individuals over the processes and tools. So you'll notice for Agile methodology, actually how it works, you'll find that probably the traditional project management methodologies, you usually met with usually actually met with the investor. Then probably you could probably meet with a team to just collect the user stories and now begin working on the project. So for the traditional methodologies, there is usually no interaction in between the product execution phase per se. So what I'm trying to imply is, for the traditional methods, we used to just collect user stories, have them captured somewhere, take it to your development team, ensure they develop it. Once the product has been fully developed, you now go back to the users or the end users and provide that specific product to them. So at times you'll notice in that specific methodology, there will be a lot of errors per se, in that you'll find that probably the stories were captured a year ago and some of the processes have actually changed. So when you go back with a working solution, you might find that actually the processes have changed and you need to also make some changes on your solution. But now for Agile, when you talk about individuals and interactions over the processes and tools, you'll find that after each and every month, you are going to go back to the actual users of your product, and you're going to take them through your product with an actual working solution. So when the end users review that solution and see probably it is working as it should, you're now going to be given a go ahead to proceed now to the next phase probably. But now for the traditional methods, that wouldn't have been possible. So I hope we've gotten that specific point. But I'm going to illustrate more of it as we proceed. Then the second core value, working software over comprehensive documentation. So what do we mean by working software over comprehensive documentation? So here, what happens in the traditional methodologies, people used to just when we're talking about user stories, so basically that is an example of documentation. So people used to document user stories, give you the user stories. You as a product owner or a project manager, you go work on it with your team. Then after that, you're supposed to just bring the software and also bring a documentation to state how probably the software should be installed and things of the sort, and how the software should be run per se. But now for Agile, when we talk about working software over comprehensive documentation, here your team, you as the product owner, you should ensure that your team makes probably monthly presentations of our working software that you've created. So probably we are building an HMI system. We all know that an HMI system is a hospital management information system. So that system is actually really, really, really big. So when probably we are tasked with that specific work, what we are going to do, we are going to create one feature that is working, a working feature, then that is what we are going to be presenting. So you should first ensure that you're intensifying your focus and everything that you have to having a working product as opposed to having theoretical documentations on how the application or how the system will work per se. So you should have a working product as opposed to just documentation in theory explaining probably how a system should work. So that is how the older methodologies used to handle things. But for Agile, it somehow simplifies things and it makes things faster and easier. Okay. So that is for working software over comprehensive documentation. So I hope that point is clear. So I'll move on now to the third agile value, core value that we have. So that is customer collaboration process. You as a project manager, you're always going to customers now are going to have over following a plan. So in traditional methodologies, what used to happen once the plan has been outlined and it has been stated and written down clearly, you would adhere to that plan till the final stage, which is now the execution stage. So people used to follow a specific plan to the latter. But now for Agile, Agile has the provision of responding to change over following a plan. In that, probably, I'll give an example that I've already given you guys. You'll find that in some instances, you're supposed to create a certain process. This is how it is actually on the ground. This is how people are actually using. This is how the process works on the actual users. Now, when probably let's say some changes occur, maybe there's some shift in the number of employees or something, you might find that the company or that organization adopts a new process, maybe a simpler one to accommodate the growing number. Now, if you are sticking to the plan and your project is supposed to run probably for a year or so, you'd find that when it comes to the end of that specific year, some processes have changed. So for Agile, it allows us to probably just respond to change quickly as opposed to just following the plan to the latter. So that is basically what we mean by responding to change over following a plan. So that is it for the 4 core values that we have in our Agile manifesto. Now we are going to proceed now to the 12 Agile principles. So I hope we're okay. I don't know if we have a question. Okay, awesome. I guess there are no questions, so we're going to proceed. So here, when you talk about the 12 principles of Agile, they are actually listed here. So these are the sample principles that we have. So I'm going to just take them through. I'm going to take you guys through them. Then I'm going to probably highlight areas where I need to highlight. So the first principle is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So the first principle that we are focusing on the Agile manifesto is we are supposed to actually satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So here, the customer should be satisfied. We're supposed to deliver a product that is of high quality and meets the customer's standards. Then the other thing is you're supposed to be in continuous you're supposed to deliver that specific product in continuous bits. So probably this month you deliver on a certain feature that works well and fully. Then the next month you deliver on another feature that fully works also and it has been tested and everything works. So that is what we mean by satisfying the customer's priorities. Then the second one welcoming changing requirements even late in development. So when you talk about welcoming changing requirements even late in development, so Agile basically enhances the change of customers' competitive advantage. So here the manifesto basically goes in contradiction to the traditional project management methodologies that we had. So here we just ensure that the requirements which are provided in a later date or in a later time are also captured and are integrated to the project. So that is basically what we mean by welcoming changing requirements even in late development. If probably we're talking now about the traditional methodologies, you remember we stated in the previous slide that for traditional methodologies, they used to actually stick to the plan. So they wouldn't have accommodated this per se. Then we have deliver working software frequently. We all know what that means, ensuring you're delivering working software frequently. Then the next one is with a preference of shortened time scale. So another principle is basically just a preference of shorter time scale. So here you'll find that for the other agile methodology, you're going to organize your team to have short sprints. So for a sprint in agile methodology shouldn't be longer than 4 weeks. So you have a maximum of 4 weeks to just deliver on short features and during those specific sprints. So business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. So here, when probably you have a question, you have a challenge, or one of your developers has raised a challenge, you must capture that and work now with the other side of things, now the business side. So here you reach out to the investors, the respective stakeholders. They're going to tell you probably what you need to deliver on or what you need to do and things of the sort. Then build projects around motivated individuals. I believe in the last session, we talked about how to ensure your team, how to manage your team, how to ensure your team is well motivated. So you should always ensure that when you're building projects, when you're coming up with projects, ensure that you are working with a really, really motivated team so that they can actually deliver the projects or the features within the stipulated timeframes. So we all know if you're working with motivated people, their productivity also will be really, really, really high. So always find a way to just motivate individuals working in your team. Then the other one is conveying information to and with the development team through face-to-face conversation. So most technical projects actually most technical projects are set up in a way that most people will be working remotely. Same thing as we are actually the same way we're actually learning with you guys. So we're actually learning in a remote setup. But now for conveying information properly or in a standard way, the agile methodology recommends that you should have at least meetings or we should convey information with your team members in a face-to-face conversation. So in most cases, this is going to be impossible, but how you can navigate this, you can just ensure that people turn on their cameras when probably stating something or when probably describing something, just to ensure that the information has been captured correctly. So that is for conveying information to and with the development team through face-to-face conversations. So another principle that we have in the Agile Manifesto per se, so working software is the primary measure of progress. So remember, working software is the primary measure of progress. So here, you should essentially focus more on having a working thing as opposed to probably intensifying your focus on one thing, one feature to perfect it. So you should actually not focus too much on something. As long as it is working, you can leave that specific feature and also move on to something else that is not working and make it work. So as opposed to perfection, Agile basically ensures that you have a core working feature, a core working application or program per se under development before now proceeding to probably ensuring that it is perfect and it meets probably the big annotation and things of the sort. So agile processes just promotes that basically. So agile processes promote sustainable development. So yeah, here it actually just promotes that is the sustainable development. I believe that is actually pretty straightforward. Then we have a continuous attention to technical excellence, and good design enhances agility. So agility, remember we stated that agility basically stands for making it in a fast way. It refers to having something in a fast way and in an easy way. So continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances it to deliver that. Then we have simplicity. The art of maximizing the amount of work not done is essential. So here, when you talk about simplicity, when probably you're coming up with features, ensure they're simple enough, they're straightforward. There's no need of just maximizing it and making it perfect enough. So let it be simple enough at first, as long as it meets what the investors wants and what they have stated. So yeah, simplicity will come in hand in that specific way. Then the best architects requirements and design emerge from self-organized team. So ensure also one principle of Agile manifesto is that your team should be well organized. So this now is your work. You as a product owner, you as a product manager, you're supposed to ensure that each and every time your team is self-organized per se. Then the team discusses how to become more effective at regular intervals, then tunes and adjust its behaviors accordingly. So here, you're actually going, I will actually advise you to meet with your team members regularly. Yes, you're going to be meeting in the daily stand-ups and things of the sort, but I will advise you to meet your team probably a day a month of work. So you can set up a certain team lunch or something of the sort, have your team members come for that a specific meeting. It shouldn't be a technical meeting per se. Have them just echo or provide sentiments of how they are doing at work, probably what they need to tune, what needs to be adjusted so that they can achieve probably higher productivity, and also ensure that they are delivering on their KPIs that you also set at the beginning of the project per se. So this marks the last it's actually the last principle from our Agile manifesto. So yeah, this is actually the last principle. So I don't know if you guys have any questions, but if there are no questions, I'll proceed to the benefits of Agile project management. So this is actually just to outline the benefits of using the Agile methodology in project management. Okay, so yeah, so we can proceed. So as you can see, the first benefit of just using Agile project management, we have continuous customer contact. So basically, when we talk about continuous customer contact in the traditional project management methods, generally only the traditional project management methods generally only had the project in touch with the customer at the start and at the end of the project. So you only met the customer or the investor at the start of the project for you to just align on what you should deliver on, and at the end of the project for you just to deliver the project or to hand over the project that you created for the customer. But now in Agile, the customer is in continuous contact or interaction with you throughout the process. So if there are any changes, the customer will communicate the changes, and you are supposed to actually accommodate or absorb those specific changes. So Agile actually, if you look at it in terms of the customer perspective, Agile is better to the customer in that it gives the customer the autonomy of just providing new changes at any point. So me, I'm also a software developer on the side. I normally do projects for people. If you've seen my LinkedIn account somewhere, so I normally do projects for customers and clients. So most of my clients, I don't usually like using the agile the agile methodology when working with small clients. In that, you'll find that the client will communicate, will make a lot of changes. And so at the start of the project, you'll find that you are agreeing with the client on a certain price and the things and the deliverables that you're supposed to deliver. But now, during now the continuous process of developing the application of the project, you'll find that the client requests for more changes. So I usually cap it in a way that we probably request for a change. We usually count the number of changes that you request. So if the changes pass a certain limit, for example, 10 changes, I now begin charging you also for the changes that you ask for. But yeah, for the agile project management, it actually captures that. So for the customer, it is a good methodology for the customer, in that the customer can provide can request for changes at any point, and you as a product owner, you're supposed to capture that and deliver it to your team members. So we are going to be having a look at who your team members are before we end the session. So we have that is for continuous customer contact. So that is one benefit of the agile project management methodology. So this is a benefit actually to the customer. Then we have the ability to adapt. So when you talk about the ability to adapt, here now you'll find that customers you'll find that it's easy for both customers and you as a product owner to just adapt easily in terms of cost and also in terms of schedule. So probably when the cost when you're in constant communication with the customer, you probably you need a new member in your team. You can just communicate that to the customer. The cost will go up because we've added this specific member to our team. We need him, and probably he needs to do 1 and 2 and 3. Then in terms of now schedule, probably you notice a certain feature, you had speculated a certain feature to take, let's say 20 minutes. You'll find that not 20 minutes, but let's say 20 days. You'll find that probably that feature needs 2-3 months. So it is easy. You can just easily adapt that situation by communicating to the customer and coming up with an agreement on which date to deliver that specific feature. So another benefit of agile project management, fast delivery. So it ensures that there is fast delivery of products and applications, if I may say. So when you talk about fast delivery, you can look at it this way. So remember, we mentioned that for agile, we don't necessarily focus on the broad project picture as a whole. So you begin with bits. You can actually classify the whole project into phases. So you can begin with phase 1, but now when you begin on phase 1, you ensure that phase 1 is working, and it's something that the customer can work with as you also come up with phase 2. So fast delivery in that you can release your products in bits, but the bits are working solutions. So yeah. Then when you talk about lower project risk, so lower project risk in that probably your team is going to foresee most of the things at an early stage. So this will actually reduce your risk. So yeah, that is what we talk about. That is what we mean when we talk about lower project risk. Then we have the last benefit as ongoing innovation. So here, Agile basically supports collaboration and continuous improvement, which basically also leads to innovation and the development of new products and features. So by just enhancing collaboration and continuous improvement, you will notice that you're coming up with new solutions, a new way to solve problems in tech. And yeah, you might also find yourself way ahead in the tech industry per se. So these are some of the benefits that we have when handling a project management methodology. So yeah, now we're going to proceed now to when not to use the agile project management method per se. So you'll find in some instances, yes, you want to use the agile methodology, but we want to look at ways or instances that can hinder you from using that specific methodology. The first one is the outcomes of your project. The outcome of your project is stable and well understood. So if you have a well understood project, a well detailed project, I believe this is why I normally prefer using this with smaller clients. So if a client has a well described, well documented documentation just to illustrate what he wants, or he or what she wants, it will be easier for me to use another methodology, probably a waterfall, as I already know what needs to be achieved, and I can work on it flawlessly and seamlessly for an entire project period without coming back to the customer, unless we're now coming back to review. So in situations whereby the outcome of the project is it has been stipulated clearly and you know the end goal, yeah, you can choose not to use this. Then the other time you can use probably not to go with agile is when your project must produce a repeatable deliverable. So when you're probably producing a repetitive deliverable, you're not supposed to probably use this specific agile methodology, because it should be unique. So it should be unique. So, but if the process is repeatable, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can still see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, awesome. I believe I've lost power for a bit, but yeah, we are going to try finish everything before we drop off. Okay, awesome. So I will proceed to the next slide. Allow me, I'm the one who can't see my screen. Allow me to stop presenting and so that I can present again. So just give me a second. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen. Awesome. So allow me to go to that slide so that we can proceed. Okay, awesome. So yeah, that basically tells us when to use agile methodology and now when not to use agile methodology. I don't know if we have any questions. I'd like to pause there for a second for any questions. Is there someone with a question? Yes, Susan, kindly go ahead.
Teacher, can you please go back one slide? Like we say, Agile's is ability to move quickly, but there is a question is your stakeholder don't want Agile. If you know the Agile is the ability or the help us to adopt or move quickly, why the stakeholder don't want it? Can you please give us some example for that one?
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you for that. I can answer that. So I keep switching my screens because of I don't have power, but I'm trying to navigate and see how we can end this. But yeah, basically, the stakeholders basically probably don't want agile because they don't have the costs, or they're not in a position to handle the cost that comes with it. So we are going to see that about that in the next few slides. But yeah, in some instances, you'll find that the organization can't afford probably adapting that specific technology. So that is one instance whereby your stakeholders won't prefer agile. Is that okay? Okay, awesome. So give me a second before we finalize on this. Just 1 second. Okay, awesome. So I believe we can continue. I'm in a position now to just proceed. So yeah, the reason probably your company might not the reason probably your company might not want to adopt agile is because of probably cost and also some risk. If probably you don't have the skilled personnel to just ensure that technology is handled appropriately. Also, your company cannot support agile. You might find that probably you're integrating agile with other tools and other version control tools, so that might not allow you to just switch to agile. So yeah, there are a lot of instances that probably you might a company might not be ready to adopt that specific tool. So also there's some aspect of time, ability to, or also desire from the team members themselves. So that is that is one of the reasons probably also why someone might not adopt the agile methodology. So I'll move on quickly as we wind up. I want us to wind up before I believe around 4. So yeah, I'll proceed to the next bit. So here, allow me to have it in slideshow, then I can take you guys through this. So with the agile methodology, two of the most widely used frameworks in the agile methodology are Scrum and Kanban. So for Scrum, we had a look at it briefly in one of the sessions. For Kanban, we haven't had a look at it, but I hope you guys will find time to just go and find the differences between these specific frameworks. So we have the Scrum and the Kanban. So when we talk about Agile Scrum, in most this is the most popular actually framework in Agile that is known and is actually used these days. It is actually simpler to use the Scrum as opposed to Kanban. I'll let you guys go do some research on that, but yeah, generally it's better to work with Scrum. So now, in the Agile Scrum framework, we normally have team members. It's structured in a way that we usually have an agile team. So what makes up an agile team? First and foremost, you as a product owner, you as a project manager, you're going to be the lead of that specific agile team. So when we talk about the agile team, you can think of yourself in that specific team. So basically, this is how the team looks like. The typical roles in an agile scrum and the teams include the following that have been listed. We have the team lead. So this is basically the scrum master, or the person who is responsible for doing for leading the group per se. This is the person who will be under you. So for the team lead, the main work of a team lead in a software development project will be probably they'll be responsible for merging the code. So they will be responsible for reviewing probably the other team members' work and what they've done before now providing communications to you as a product owner or a project manager. So they coach the group, they pave way for them to reach the project goals. So they actually just lead, they actually provide guidance to the team members under you per se. Then we have the team members in a HMS system. Probably you can give an example of that. You will have engineers probably amongst your team members. You will have product designers. You will have quality assurance people just to check whether the product is okay and meets the customer's requirements and things of the sort. Then we have now the product owner as you. You as the product owner, you're responsible for the product vision and the priorities. You are responsible for telling the team and guiding the team probably where to move next, where to go next, and things of the sort. So yeah, and yeah, that is basically how the project management team looks like. So how do you run a Scrum teamwork? So basically, for Agile Scrum teamwork, remember we stated that sprints normally run for only 4 weeks. So the maximum duration that you can have a sprint is a duration of 4 weeks. Then you're going to be having daily meetings, daily stand-up meetings with your team members, just to ensure that you just for regular check-ins, just to know what they're working on that day, and also to know what they managed to achieve probably the previous day and things of the sort. Then we have a sprint retrospective at the end of the cycle. So basically what we mean by this, once the sprint is over, you guys are supposed to sit down, just try and think how the sprint went, what went well, what went wrong. Just try and reflect on how probably you guys handled the previous sprint. Then we have rapid feedback. So here, you as a team, you should always ensure you're giving each other feedback on a regular basis. Then we have close collaboration with customers and stakeholders. So here, you just collaborate regularly with the various customers and stakeholders involved in the project. So yeah, that is it from me. I don't know if we have many questions, but yeah, thank you guys for being an awesome audience and also for listening to me. So yeah, luckily I have my lights back and I'm good to go. So I don't know if you guys have any questions, any concerns regarding what we've gone through today. Yes, Susan.
I just want to ask that today's our last section, service lesson project management. So our last class.
Yeah, so this is actually our last learning class. I'm going to share a certain project that I need you guys to do. So I'll share that project. You guys work on that specific project from now till next week on Tuesday. One quick question: are you guys able to work as a group? Are you guys able to collaborate as a group? Susan, you can just probably provide that answer for the class. Are you guys in a position to probably work as a group?
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. So yeah, people are okay. So Madina also okay. Okay. So there is a project I wanted to. I will be sending a specific project to your emails, to each and every person's email. Now I need. We're around 10 on call, so I need 2 groups from you guys. So Husan, you can lead one group. Who will volunteer to lead the other group? Okay, awesome. Esma Tula, I'm still learning your name, so bear with me. But yeah, you will lead the other group. So what you're going to do, I'm going to send a certain assessment to your emails. So for next week's session, I will need you guys to make presentations. So we are going to be having the project presentation from the 2 groups. So for the rest, I will still share with them. But yeah, for the 2 major presentations that we're going to be having next week, Usan will lead one group, then Esma Tula, you will lead the other group. So I want to divide you guys into those specific groups. Then I will share the question. I'll share a question to each and every member. Then you guys will have find time and meet before then. So Husan, so we have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 members. Okay. So that is 3 and 4. So Husan, probably you will work with Saliha and Nawab, sorry. Saliha and Nawab. Maybe give me a thumbs up, Nawab and Saliha, if that's okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Nawab, if you're on call, probably also just give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you. So kindly work with Husan. So that is Nawab and Saliha. So those are your members, Husan. Then for Esmatula, your members will be Kolsom, Madina, and we have Diana. So you will be working with Kolsom, Madina, Diana. So you will have 3 members. Then Husan will have 2 members, Nawab and Saliha. So is that clear? Is that okay? Okay, awesome.
Okay.
So okay, yeah, thank you guys. So I'll send it to your specific emails. Then you guys will just find time, create some slides, come do the presentation for the next session. So that is how we will actually end our program. But yeah, generally we've gone through most of the aspects. I'll also share some documentations on that specific email so that you can reference to those specific platforms. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you a lot. You've been a really good audience. I appreciate you guys a lot. So
I just want to say, Salaha and Nawab, I don't have their email address. How could I connect with this two person?
yeah, that is why I was actually asking if you guys are in a position to work as a group. But what can happen, maybe share your emails on the chat. That is Nawab and Salhia. You can just share your emails on the chat. Then for the rest of the members, each and every member can just share the emails on the chat box so that the leads can capture them.